Aloha, everybody. Coming to you from Waikiki, Hawaii, a beautiful, beautiful, sunny state. And this is a Dance, Art, and Life podcast. I'm your host, Danya the Gypsy, and this is a judgment-free zone. I'm looking for stories of dancers, musicians, and artists of all walks of life. Their struggles, hard work, highs and lows of their careers, but most of all, the life lessons they've learned following their passion. Today's guest is a very, very close friend of mine. She was actually my neighbor, or not even a neighbor, because Czechoslovakia was together when I was born and when she was born. And her name is Yanna Samkova. She was four times professional Slovakian champion in Latin, North American champion.
North American rhythm champion. And she organizes a beautiful competition here in Hawaii, in her home state where she lives. Yanna, welcome to the podcast. Aloha, thank you very much.
I surprised you with it because, Yanna thought we will be just talking, but I said, no, there's camera involved and so on. So we're dealing with
and we have
some animals
here.
over here and wind and everything, the typical Hawaiian weather. So, before we jump into it, how do you like living in Hawaii?
Oh, I really love it. I enjoy it. It was challenging on the beginning for me.
Because?
Lifestyle, very slow.
Very slow lifestyle.
Very slow, very laid back, which is beautiful. Tourists love it, but I did not really particularly enjoy it on the beginning.
I know, because you're always on the go.
I'm always on the go, very
yeah.
busy.
Yeah.
So very laid back, but of course I love the weather. I don't miss snow or cold weather at all. I loved short distances.
But yet she still goes to Canada to ski. That she doesn't miss it, but once a year, right?
Once a year, it's okay. It's okay once a year, but not every day.
Not every day, got it. So you love it?
Yes.
You don't want to go live anywhere
I
else
don't think so.
in
No,
the
I don't
world?
want to move anymore. It has been 14 years.
Yeah.
So this is home. We call it Viakama Aina now. That's how we call local people who live here, and they are not Hawaiians, but they live here in Hawaii.
Got it.
So we really feel Kama Aina now. That's his
Perfect.
home.
And I know the word ohana, which means family. And you have a beautiful family. Sky, her daughter, and it's just awesome to be here all the time. So, let's start from very beginning. I already told the audience that you were born in Czechoslovakia, as I was, because the country was still together. And then they split and so on and so forth. But what city in Czechoslovakia or in Czech were you born?
Yes, I was born in former Czechoslovakia, in Prague, so in the Czech Republic side, Prague, and all my family, they are from Prague and they still live there. All the way in mid-70s, so we go way back during the communism time.
Yeah. So it was still on, right?
It was still very, very on.
How was the experience of communism like?
Well, I don't know if you really remember, but I do remember growing up, everything was quite dark and gray, very different from here.
Yeah.
And we didn't have too much. It definitely made us stronger and more resilient, I think, and not spoiled. But I have to generally looking back, I have a very happy memories for my childhood, we cannot complain. But also remember those moments when we had to stay in line for bananas, or we saw coconuts or pineapples maybe once in 3 years, not even every year. We didn't have oranges, so completely different lifestyle.
Now you have pineapples every day, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And coconuts. Got it. So you got born, and then obviously you went to kindergarten and so on and so forth. So when did you actually start to dance or
Oh
got
wow!
interested?
So how much time we have? Because
A lot of
it's
time.
okay. Yeah.
We can go 2 hours, 3 hours,
It is-
doesn't matter.
It is a
I got
long.
time.
It is a long story.
Go
it
ahead.
is a long
go
story,
Ahead. I
so-
love long stories.
So I was okay. So mid 70s, and my parents, they were not dancers. To
Yeah.
point it out, so they were not dancers. Even though my dad was used to be a professional. Player, so he can play 3 different instruments, and he was a professional
A
drummer,
musician. Got it.
So it was, so we have that background going. But by the time I was born, they were a little older. I was more like a surprise.
Got
I
it.
have an older brother who is 15 years older
it's
than me.
called accident. You were an accident.
Well, kind of, but no, they were trying for some time. But the doctors told my mom that she will not be able to have a child anymore. So finally, I was born. So they were already a little bit older, established. They had their own career.
Yeah.
So that did not play anymore, and here I came. So little girl, but living in Prague, I don't know. Well, you are from Czech Republic. It's quite cultural city.
Yeah.
So my parents really love to go to theaters, operas, balls. I used to see them dressing up to the really formal attire evening, and they would go to
So
these
from a small child, you kind of
social ballrooms.
Yeah.
They would go. So I was watching my parents do that, and then, but they didn't take me. I had to stay home with my grandma, and I was watching TV. And back then on the national Czech TV, they used to have these live broadcasts
live streams,
from these balls. And I saw these beautiful dancers, like a background dancers, but they had this formal attire, top hats and feather dresses. And I remember telling my grandma, oh, I really want to do that. Like one day I want to be the dancer on the stage and in that beautiful bling bling dress.
How old were you when you
Very
when you
little,
saw
like
it?
four.
5?
So that was my dream, to be that beautiful dancer. Little did I know that they do ballroom or anything like that. I just love the dresses.
Got it.
So mom said, okay, we're gonna put you to ballet.
It's not typical at all. It's just, you know, the girl watching TV and loves the dresses, and of course you want to be a dancer. This is how it starts. Of course.
So that's how it started. So mom said, okay, we're gonna put you to ballet.
Yeah.
So I was
So you started with ballet.
So I was in the kindergarten. I started ballet class. Mind you, very serious. Okay, so very serious. So the teacher had a stick.
You were serious, or
no? The teacher. The teacher was very serious. She had a stick. She was a hands-on. Pushing us down to the split. Very serious ballet class.
Can you still do the split?
Well, I could
Almost.
Almost.
If you stretch, prior
stretch
to
a lot.
got it.
Yeah. So but now comes the twist. So because she was very serious, she was hands-on. She noticed that something is wrong. So with me. So.
That's a twist.
Yeah, that's a twist. She noticed that one of my hips were higher, so they were not positioned properly. One of my leg was shorter, and the back was not perfectly straight as she wanted to.
Or?
So she told my mom she has to take me to the doctor and to check. And they did. And they found out that I have extreme severe scoliosis. So I had already over 40 degrees of scoliosis with my back, and one leg was shorter. So
with, like, you being like what, 5, 6 years old?
Yes, I was in the kindergarten.
And already.
Correct. Already was quite bad. So it was as bad that they suggested a back surgery. But again, we are
suggested. But you didn't do it.
We didn't do it.
Okay.
We are deep back then. End of 70s, beginning of 80s, communism time. My dad said no back surgery, but I end up going to the sanatorium.
Yeah.
It's one of those like a long term. So all my first grade, I was 1 year in that sanatorium, applying all different treatment and trying to fix the back.
Which is like a facility to actually help people to heal. That's the sanatorium, as we call it in Czechoslovakia. Sanatorium, or is it English too? Sanatorium?
I think so. I think so.
I don't know. A facility where you actually recover after either surgery or an accident, or if you have some kind of problems, you go to the facility. So you were 1 year there.
1 year in the facility.
So you didn't do school at all?
I kind of skipped the. Well, they had a little bit school there, so nurses helping you. So it was a first grade. So I skipped the first grade, but I was able to start right away to the second grade when I came back. But it was not so easy. Because the scoliosis was there and they could not fix it clearly in 1 year, even though I avoided the back surgery. But I ended up having a corset. I will explain to audience. So it's kind of like a plastic thing around you, connected to the metal construction around you.
So around your neck.
So it goes all the way around the neck, holds you up. And then you have buckles and you're strapped in it. And I had to wear it every day, all day long, all night.
That's why your skinny waist.
But my dream as a dancer was shattered in that moment, right? So I was very disappointed. But not to be sad. So it was...
It will get better. You're in Hawaii, so don't worry, people.
So I was correct. So for several years, I had to wear this corset. And
but okay, so at this time you started ballet, and then
we had to stop.
Nothing.
So no ballet, nothing at all.
Like dance-wise.
I became a quite accomplished swimmer because of that.
Okay,
so the doctors, correct. So doctors recommend swimming for your back. My dad is very competitive. He took it very seriously. He was very determined. So every day, 2 hours in the pool with the teacher. So I was really swimming. And that helped. So by the time I was 10 or so, I was still wearing the corset during the day at night, but I was telling Mom, well, I will really want to go back to the dancing. I want to try it. So we went back to a contemporary, like a modern dance.
Okay.
And jazz.
At age 10.
Age 10, like 8, 10, I started going back to that lightly because I still had to wear the corset and all. The corset I was pretty much wearing till I was 16 during the night, but during the day I didn't need to anymore. So I started with the contemporary.
See, I didn't know that about you. I always thought like you're the talented and you just started to dance, no problems, like, always going up the career ladder, and that's it. You never told me that, and I know Yanna for a long time, and she never told me this story.
Well, they're always the secrets.
She was saving it for the podcast. Yeah, right. All right. So corset till 16, but till 10 you couldn't do anything.
I could not do anything. Even my skiing, which I love right now. So that came also later because I was not allowed to do anything.
But you were wearing it pretty much 24/7, or is it?
Correct, 24/7. So I have to say it was quite challenging for a little girl. Looking back, I mean, now it's fun, right? But there were moments as a little girl, I came home crying. You can imagine
so you went to school with the corset
every day, every day.
God.
So I have always like a little girl problems: what I'm gonna wear, how I'm gonna hide it, what I'm gonna do. Sometimes because it had really metals and screws and buckles, it would destroy or rip my T-shirt or the dress. Clearly the mobility it was a little bit difficult, but I learned bicycle, everything with it.
Wow.
Because I didn't want to feel like left out. I want to feel okay, I can do it all.
So you wanted to participate in all kind of things. But okay, so you kind of hid it under your clothes.
You wear it on your naked body under your clothes.
Wow. But you still saw
correct.
This
you see
thing,
it
right?
here. You see it here, and it peeks through the clothes, really, so people can tell.
Wow.
It's just under the clothes. Yeah.
How did it make you feel?
Well,
it's important to say because you were like since 5, right? You wore it. You can say, okay, I got used to it because I was solid and I didn't think about how it looks. But by the age of 10, 11, 12, right, puberty, you start to liking boys, right, and starting to kind of like, hi, how you doing, right?
Well, as a child, very, very little, correct. So different problems or different feelings as you grow up. Yeah. First, of course, the experience in the sanatorium, it's not pleasant. You're very lonely, but it makes you stronger and I would say more independent and resilient. So when I came home, I was very, very independent baby already.
This is so interesting. Sorry to interrupt you all the time, but I know you as a strong and independent person, right?
So it explains
not even
it
woman
now.
or this, but now like it makes more sense to me, you telling me that, because this is how I know you, right? But now I know why, or the cause, right? Why you are the way you are, right?
Yeah, so it's definitely contributed. So I
Yeah.
felt very, you know,
Well,
very.
it's not only that, but you know,
Correct.
of course,
So
parents and
very
so on.
very lonely first,
Yeah.
and also very often being between older children and older people from very early age, because in that sanatorium I remember there was a few little babies, but I was one of the youngest one, because most of the time they find out that you have such a deficiency or problem with your back when you're already 8,
Yeah.
9, 10, a little bit later. So I was one of the youngest one, and I had my roommates were all already teenagers, so older kids. So I was, you know, that kind of like changed my childhood
Yeah.
a little bit too. And then when I came back to second grade, of course, all children looking at you like you are different, something wrong with you. But I had a very strong mom, and she always told me, "Don't worry, honey. It's okay to be different. It's okay to stand out."
Wow.
So yeah. But there were moments, of course, when I would come home and cry a little bit.
Yeah.
But my mom, she's very strong. So she'll instead of telling me, "Don't worry," she would just like snap out of it and
That's it.
let's move on. Like
Yeah.
we can
Yeah,
do
yeah, yeah.
this. So yeah, so I felt different, but I tried to embrace it, and
it.
I learned not to mind. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I can't even comprehend. You know, it surprised me because I spent my first grade in hospitals as well, right? So it's like, I can relate very well. And
So
with
you know,
the older
yeah,
children,
yeah.
nobody was my age, right? I was crazy.
Yeah, you know, you can.
Crazy.
It brings memories.
Let
yeah,
me
it
just
brings
check
memory.
over here because I don't want to miss something. Yeah, we're still recording. Okay. All right. So you
But
said
now, okay, so now we.
at some point you said that you wore the corset only during the night.
Correct. So
When
as
did it
the
change?
situation got better, because as I was growing, they
Yeah.
make and also the technology got better and better.
Yeah.
We still during the communism time though, so
got it.
that's not like audience must understand. I guess
Yeah.
it was not as advanced, but it had been changing.
Yeah.
So as the body's growing, they were doing different prototypes and,
And
different
adjusting
written
and- yeah,
adjustments,
yeah,
and
yeah.
eventually I didn't need the medal, and it was only like half body, so
Got it.
that was much better. And then when the back got straighter and it felt like it's healing and it's getting more straight, then the doctor said, okay, we are not need to wear it during the day,
Got
so
it.
only at night. But at night it's a must, so the body still you have to sleep in it.
Yeah.
So that helped. Okay, so now I could go, all right, so let's go back to dancing. But very
But it was what, like, so you said 10, you started kind of temporary, right?
Correct.
Temporary jazz type of thing, right?
more like a kind of theater performances
theater.
group, only with the girls.
Got it. So this was like when you were 10, right?
Yes.
Because you wanted to go back. But you were swimming, so you never went back to ballet.
No, no,
Okay.
I could not. That was
you
very,
could not
You could
because of
not.
the
That was
point
very
you-
clear. That was
Got
very
it,
clear.
okay.
Like you cannot go to the point. The bag would not be
Where-
able to
oh,
hold
gotcha,
it.
gotcha.
And even my swimming, right? So I swim very well, but I could not swim competitively. That was kind of back then. They say I cannot because of that.
The pressure of the...
Well,
yeah.
I don't know. Back then, you know, they took you on the team. There
Yeah.
were certain requirements. So even
Exactly,
though
yeah.
you swim faster than other
You
people,
gotta
you
be
could
strong,
not be.
you gotta be certain
Yeah.
height, you gotta have certain
Yeah.
circumcision of the muscles and size and
So you cannot be professional athlete back then
Yeah.
if you have some deficiency. So,
Got it.
but the swimming was still kind of just fun, but I could not compete at swimming.
Yeah. But are you competitive, like you?
Yes.
Because I know that you kind of
correct.
like,
No,
yeah,
correct.
I
was,
Yeah.
and I would practice with the guys and girls who would be on swim team.
Got it.
Only I could not do the competition.
Yeah.
So back to the dancing. So,
So you had your competition basically on your trainings, right? You were always
no,
like
I would be
pushing
doing the
yourself.
laps with them, but next to them. Like I would go in the same time, like
Yeah.
they practice, and we would be swimming the laps and practicing,
Wow.
and the teacher would, tie me, but I could not do the competition.
it.
But I really did not mind because I did not feel like this is what I want to do. I
Gotcha.
really loved the dancing and performing.
Till
So
what age did you swim?
well, I swim till today. But but not professionally.
But
pretty much
like,
when I would
it was
say
part of the therapy, right? Because
correct.
you said that.
So pretty much when I started dancing, we stopped the swimming. So 10, 12,
12,
like that,
okay.
because then it was too much. You cannot do everything. I was swimming 2
Got it.
hours every day.
So at age 10, you went to contemporary type of thing, and then at what point did you go to ballroom?
Okay, and then I still I still have those memories of watching these beautiful,
Balls
correct.
yeah.
So back then, so we are in Prague, and you might be aware of it. So we have a huge společenský tanec.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
it was a ballroom club. It was one of the
Yes.
biggest ballroom club in
Yes.
Prague. It's called STK back then, and they were holding auditions to have new kids, new people to come in. So I
Yeah.
told mom, okay, I'm gonna audition. I wanna try
It was
it.
like a program, right? It wasn't even. It was a big club, and they always kind of.
Yeah, they had a big
Yeah.
group classes, and it was a focus on the dance sport,
Yeah.
competitive, and every year they would have an audition. And we are still on the end of the communism time, but it was still covered by
Yeah.
government, so
Yeah.
you had to audition to get to the class.
Exactly.
And then the classes were free, they were paid for,
Yeah.
so that was a good thing, but you have to make it.
Yeah.
So I went for audition. Luckily they took
Yeah,
me.
see, that's why Czech Republic was better than Slovakia, because we didn't have those things at all. No, we didn't.
Oh, I didn't
No.
know.
Government didn't sponsor anything. We had a lady that you paid like, I don't know, 20 crowns or something, and she came and she taught us in the school how to dance for the school prom, but in
Yeah,
like
that's-
primary school, right? Like 8th grade or something. We were 12, 13 or something like that. So, but we paid for it, and she traveled to our village to actually give us lessons in the, gym type of thing.
So no,
So
they
we
had a
didn't
regular
have that.
ballroom. They had a
Yeah.
studio, ballroom, whole
Yeah.
system, group classes every day, several times a week, free practices.
Wow.
So we had that. So I got on the junior team back then.
That's cool.
Started with the group classes,
So
no
you were
partner
like
yet.
what? You were.
So now you're looking at 12,
Yeah.
and then from there it was quite fast. I had my first amateur partner at 12 years old, and we started
Wow.
doing our competitions in the junior level. And then I got my amateur partner, and I don't know if the audience, but
Yeah.
again, it's different than United States here. So we have different classes we go
Classes,
through.
yeah.
Like here we have a bronze, silver, gold. Over there we had D, C, B, A, M to the
yeah.
international level. So you're going through as many competitions
Yeah.
you do. It was
Did
quite
you have
organized.
the point system as well? Like
Yes.
you need to have like what, 250, 300
So we
points?
had like a little it looked like a
Yeah,
little
like a passport,
It was
yeah.
like a little book, and each competition you did,
you
you
gotta
got
sign
stamped,
in, they
and
stamp
you got
yeah.
points for that. And
Yeah.
if you collected certain amounts of points
How
and
many was
certain
it though?
amount of finals,
yeah.
you have minimum, I think,
Yeah.
3 finals
Same.
in each category.
3?
I think 3.
I had 5.
Oh, maybe. Oh my gosh, it
250
was a long
points.
time ago. I don't remember.
250 points and 5 finals you need to have.
Oh yeah, good. I don't remember those, but I remember. Okay, so every competition, and you
Yeah.
collected how many, and you could not skip a year or so. You have to
Yeah.
be consistent.
Yeah,
So I did 10 dance. So I did standard and Latin.
got it.
In all those, collecting my little things. One partner, another partner. I had partner for 10 dance, and then only for Latin. Then they switched to the standard. Then my coach back then, we started in private lessons. He told me, "Okay, Yanni, you're doing quite good. So I have a good partner for you." And he was already older. He was adult. So
Okay.
I was 16, and
You
I
were
started
16.
competing already in the adult division.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
no
yeah.
more junior and youth. So adult division, because he was already like 20,
Okay,
22.
at that point you were doing just Czech competitions or
Yeah, they
already
was still
international?
no. That was still in the 16. There was still like category A or
Yeah,
M,
Got
but it
it.
was still within the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
So we competed quite a lot. Then was a twist. I will surprise you again.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, he had a car accident and he
The
passed
partner.
away.
Oh, fuck.
So I lost my partner to car accident. So that
Yeah.
was a shock overnight. So no partner.
Yeah.
And then there was no Latin partner in that moment. So I did standard for a little bit,
Yeah.
just for a little bit. But back then, by then, I was quite focused on, I like Latin more than standard. So I
Yeah.
didn't like it. So we did only like 6 months. And then I finally found another, my international Latin Latin partner, and we moved to more international competitions in the amateur adults, and we start traveling and exploring that.
So, man, were you two together with the guy?
Yes,
and he
we
passed
were.
away.
No. The one who passed away, we were just partners.
Just partners.
Just
okay,
partners.
that's why I was asking, because it was like I mean, it was tough already. So like, how old was he?
He was 22.
22. Fuck. That's tough. Super tough, man. So, but okay, he passed away. He had the accident, and then obviously you didn't go like, okay, next, right? Like, it was
there
like
was a moment, of course, moment. But then you have to move on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad, but you have to move on. So then I continue in the international Latin only.
So with him, you were dancing tendons.
Correct.
Got
we were doing
and
tendons.
And then you found only a
for international Latin. Correct. So I did.
So you went on, internationally, Germany and
for a little bit. So now by then I'm already like 17 right? Yeah. 17, 18, and then I have my international Latin partner only, and then I turned professional very early. So I
How old were you?
19.
With the same partner?
Different partner. You don't know that story?
No,
okay. More surprises for him.
Yeah. Well, I know a little bit because we always talk about your daughter, son and life stuff, right? We never talked about, back in the day, sometimes you throw in some little things and that's it. I don't know the whole story. Now I will. The whole world will. But, So you were 17, you danced with the Latin partner, and then while you were dancing, there came an opportunity to actually turn pro and dance pro.
Correct. So that was a gentleman. Oh, well.
A gentleman.
And he turned out to be my professional partner. So originally he was actually coaching us. So we took lessons.
So it was your coach.
Yes. So we took coaching. Well, we had
Who
several.
Was it? What was the name?
We had several coaches, right? As you know, you go from coaching to
What's
coaching.
The name of the gentleman?
Peter Ingris.
Peter Ingris.
So we took the coaching, and then he already stopped actually dancing with his partner.
Yeah.
And then he asked me if I would like to dance with him, and that was, I have to say, a little bit surprised too. I was not really planning to be professional or turn professional as young.
At 19, right?
At 19, as young. But after thinking about it, opportunity came, and here comes my professional career. So that completely changed everything.
So you were 19. What led you to actually do the step and say yes to this part? Because you had partner, right? You had bright future, so to say. You were practicing, you were competing, right? What led you to actually to say yes?
Well, because the situation was a little bit different than it's right now. Even though I had a partner, it's very difficult to get on the international scene coming from small country. And the funds were limited. That was one of the problems. So we could not afford to go to Blackpool or to travel, go UK and these competitions. So there was one factor. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna turn professional with somebody who had the experience before. So I thought the whole world will open more possibilities, of course. And then I start teaching, which I did not do as an amateur before. So I start traveling with him and doing the lectures and teaching. First helping as an assistant, because I was really young, and then from there I could teach my own lessons.
Ingris, he was Slovakian.
He was originally Slovakian, but he emigrated
to Czech.
No, he emigrated to Germany. And he represented Germany. And then from Germany, he was coming to coach to Czech Republic. So when he asked me, he was still living in Germany. But I did not want to move because I was in university studying.
So you had school still and so on.
Still school and all that, still at home. So I'm like, I cannot move. So we managed. We kind of like, he came, okay, I will come back. And since I'm going to be coming back, we will go represent Slovakia.
Because he had Slovakian passport?
Because he had Slovakian passport,
Why not
and
Czech, though?
he felt that he would like to represent Slovakia, was his original country, and then he never represented because he immigrated and turned professional to Germany. So he felt that he would like to do that, and it's okay. I didn't feel like why not. It was my first professional experience, so he advised. I kind of like follow advice, and that's what happened. And then the whole new world opened up, and I first went to London and assembly and had coaching with all big names.
But you were doing only Latin, right? No tendance anymore.
Okay, so we did only Latin. We tried standard a little bit, but just for fun. But we never competed professionally in standard. Like 10 dance, we did a 10 dance for the European 10 dance championship, but never standard only, just Latin.
Perfect. So you were 19. How long you danced with Peter?
So we danced all the way till I moved to United States. So we're looking at 4 or 5 years. 4 or 5 years.
So 23, you moved to United. Man, like so young.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that was that's another story. But we really enjoyed it. I enjoyed those 4 years. I'm looking back. It was one of the most amazing years. It was, on one side, it was very scary and stressful. I was like very young professional, and suddenly competed and was standing on the floor next to Donnie Burns and Brian Watson and all these big names, and they were still there, and then I was so little. I felt like so inexperienced, but it made me grow up very quickly. And the pressure was very hard.
It does it to you.
We had fantastic coach, Peter Maxwell. He was fabulous. I remember my first lesson. I was so scared. We went to assembly, and I was opening the door, and the shoe flew across the floor, hit the door almost me when I opened it. He was throwing the shoe at Brian Watson, telling him how messed up he is and what he's doing wrong. And here I'm coming in. I'm like, oh my goodness. So he's screaming here at Brian Watson, and I am the next one.
I'm the next one. Wow.
So everything was very intimidated, but in the same time, amazing. So I loved all these Blackpool and London and all these competitions. My first world championship was in South Africa. It was 1997. And again, I remember very clearly because that was the year when Donnie Burns, he came back from retirement, and then he did that one competition, and then he retired again. So fabulous.
So this was the one.
That was the one.
But Hansi then didn't attend because he was...
Correct. That was the one. That was 97. After that was the Tokyo. Never been in Tokyo before, so that was fabulous. So I was very fortunate to do all the traveling and enjoy.
See the world,
and then that how it brought us kind of to United States. Because there was
so you moved
we went
Peter.
together. We went together because there was a world championship in Florida. Now USDC. USDC was holding world championship 2000 in Florida. So we came together, and then opportunity, or it was somebody asked us if we would consider maybe to move and stay in one of the studios in New Jersey.
New Jersey, okay.
Who was that? The studio is not there anymore, so it was.
Yanna is very, very diplomatic. She doesn't say names. She doesn't want to say names. I will ask her still. So, this mysterious person asked you, who was it?
No, I mean,
see what I'm saying?
The studio is not there anymore.
No, it doesn't matter. Okay,
no need.
So you don't want to say the name.
We did several competitions before. I mean, it's so we knew a little bit about United States. We went to Canada to Aller Pierre competition. We went to San Francisco to Stefan Crowell competition, Minneapolis, Boston. And so we knew these people because like P.L. Aller, we knew him from Europe, Stefan, he would come to Blackpool, and they were all asking us, like kind of hinting it, well, try. Back then it was not so many Eastern European couples back then. But I was still finishing school. Don't forget, I had to finish
university.
Correct.
So you were 23.
I didn't wanna move yet, and then Peter said, was telling me, come on, let's try it. So finally, when I finished in June, and then we came in September. So I finished school, and then we came in September into New Jersey studio. We stayed there only for 6 months, very shortly.
New Jersey. This is where you met your now husband?
Correct.
So
I stayed in New Jersey. No, I stayed in New Jersey for another 8 years, but in that particular studio, we stayed only 6 months.
So you met Lucas right away there? Yeah, I'm so interested in this story because you told me a little bit about it, but not, not all the way. So we won't say the details about it, and the drama part we leave out, but I'm very interested because Lucas told me a little bit.
Oh, he has a better way how he's saying it, right? Of course, you know, he saw me dancing and he fall in love, and he said, "This is it."
This is
This is his side of the story.
It wasn't like that at all from Yanna's side.
No, but so I was still dancing with Peter when Lucas when I met Lucas for the first time, but. As you probably
did some kind of show, right?
We did shows, local exhibitions around New Jersey and New York area, and Peter was older than me. Obviously, he was 13 years older than me.
13 years older,
and he wanted to retire, so he didn't want to compete anymore.
Got it.
So after 6 months living in the United States, almost a year, he kind of said, "Okay, I have enough, and I'm gonna explore something else." He had a PhD from physics, so he actually went to explore like a different life. So no partner for me.
So he actually stopped dancing with you?
Yeah. Well, we mutually agreed. We mutually agreed. He left.
Why? Because he didn't wanna dance in Hawaii, or in New Jersey, or.
I think
in
it's
America,
just, you know,
or
no,
he
it's
was
nothing.
already
I don't think it's
tired,
correct. I don't think nothing to do with United States. I think it was generally, you know, kind of tired. Moving to States was actually exciting for him.
Yeah.
And he loved it here. But I think it was just enough already.
But
time.
Did he? This is awful. Okay, let's do like this. The wind is strong. So mutually you said, okay, you moved here, right? You danced for quite time in America, for New Jersey, whatnot, right?
Well, the different factors. So older, he was older. He was already like feeling it's towards the end of his career. You know, you're getting older, you're getting tired a little bit, and then maybe different priorities. On one part was it, we came everything. It's new, so you have to build the business from beginning.
Of course,
so that was challenging too.
Yeah.
And then he felt like, okay, we're gonna spend all the money and effort traveling back to Europe when we were actually there, and now we're living here and all that traveling extra. So he felt maybe rather not anymore. But of course he didn't want me to be disappointed, so he said, well, when you are ready, let me know. So we were still doing the show, so we were not competing anymore, but we were doing exhibitions and shows, and he was kind of waiting for me to find a partner. And I
But you were working as well, right? Like,
and I was teaching. Yeah, we were correct. We were already teaching, and I was teaching more than him. I have to say, I don't think that Pro-Am was really his cup of tea, as English people say. So he was not teaching us much. But on the other hand, I was quite busy with my students, so I like all that idea. So anyway, so he moved back to Europe. So he's not in the United States anymore. He's back in Europe.
So how long were you? Was he in?
About a year. We were in Jersey together, and after that I met Lucas, and then we said that's it, and
so
it's a new chapter open again.
Did you dance with Lucas at some point?
Yes, we did. So we started as friends, and we started to date first.
Oh, okay.
He had his own professional partner, so he did American Rhythm and Theater Arts, Cabaret, and he had his partner. It was definitely not on my mind at all to dance with him.
Got it.
I did not feel like I'm willing or ready to switch to rhythm.
Okay.
So we're looking at end of 2001, beginning of 2002. American Rhythm back then it was Bob Powers and Julia. They were champions. So I was still looking for Latin partner.
Did you find one?
There was no partner for me in New York,
Mm-hmm.
and so then Lucas lost his partner.
Yeah.
She moved. She decided. I think she moved to Texas and completely stopped dancing too.
Okay.
She went to Argentine tango scene.
Got it.
So suddenly we had no partners and we were dating.
Got it.
Then we decided to dance together. So that's how my journey in American rhythm started.
So you didn't even get to dance Latin competition in America, right?
Not
Just
really.
shows,
Yeah.
just-
Correct. Yeah.
So, and then you went to rhythm. That's interesting.
Oh, and that was a challenge too. We had Talia Tarzinov as our coach.
Yeah.
First of all, he lived in New York. Secondly, we didn't know where to go. Of course, Talia is fantastic, but for me, it was personally a challenge to switch. Not necessarily physically, but mentally, emotionally, completely different dance,
Yeah.
different style.
Yeah.
Mambo, bolero, bent knees.
Yeah.
We talking 20 years ago. So back then the scene was different.
Yeah.
There was no Eastern European couples or
Yeah.
Russian couples
Yeah.
in rhythm.
It was really, it was really, I would like to actually experience it because it was really kind of like
Well, let's put it this
a
way: the
different
American
not
rhythm and
even-
American smooth went long way, and
Yeah.
it had changed since then. I would say tremendously.
No, what I'm saying is like at that time, like the rhythm, it would be like saying from the competitive to competitive salsa and those dances, right? At that time, right? But now they, like when you look smooth and rhythm, they equal now.
Oh,
right?
they're
And it's
absolutely, they're
like-
absolutely fabulous. But
Yeah.
correct. No, oh my gosh! And I first time, I
So
did.
your mental challenge was because you were like trained
Straight
Latin,
knees, straight knees.
Latin dancer, and just the mental state of going, right?
Well, first of all, different dances, right? I've never
Yeah.
seen them before, so
Yeah.
now I'm looking at those dances and learning them for the first time. Bent knees, that was bolero. That cha-cha rumba was not so, but the bolero and mambo was hard. I took some coaching with Maria Torres. I don't know if you know that name. So she was also fabulous, and
Yeah.
she just very encouraging. And she said, "Oh, don't worry, just feel it." I'm like, "I don't feel
it.
anything."
I don't
but
tell me what to do, right? Yes.
Yes, I was very like, okay, I will follow exactly. And she said,
Exactly.
just feel it and go and shake it.
Exactly,
I'm like, all
right.
right, I'm just gonna go and shake
What do
it.
I
and-
shake then? Yeah. I got it. So you actually, okay, so you make the switch, right?
We made a switch. Lucas also was quite big and had a lot of friends in hustle scene.
Yeah.
So
you
we
mean
did-
big in terms of what?
Well, he was a hustle champion,
Got it.
and they had their
big,
own.
big like
They
in
had
the
their
career.
own. They had their own
Yeah.
competitions.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
besides the NDCA, there is a whole salsa and hustle
Yeah.
championships, and so they have their own competitions.
Yeah.
And we did shows for them, and then they asked us to do workshops. I never done hustle in my life, so
Got
there
it.
was another. So and it was a completely different culture
So it
for
was
me
like
too.
on the go. You were constantly kind of like
You were- as I was-
surprise.
I was learning
go.
it as I go.
What's
Yeah.
going on? Yeah. Got it. So you switched with Lucas. Everything was new, right? Everything was. Challenging, not just in terms of dancing, but also the mental switch, right? How was that like for you?
Well, you have to kind of find your own, I guess, and we were more on our own. Yeah, there were no guidelines,
Yeah.
I think right now even there is a more teachers or coaches who could help couples to find their way.
Yeah.
And maybe before we were more on our own.
Yeah.
Also in our case, we were two different people, meaning like he's very American,
Yeah.
not just the American rhythm style, but very American, born New Yorker, and then I
New
came
York,
from
yeah.
from Europe, so our mentality bodies were different.
So this was additionally to
that. So he's very
the
laid back.
challenge
He would be
of-
late
of-
for the rehearsal. I would be there early, already ahead, screaming
Yeah,
at
got
him
it,
where
got
he
it.
is, how come he's not on time.
Yeah.
So it's like that till today. But
Got it.
now I got used to it. But correct. So that was the different switch, because I was used to so intense.
Yeah.
So intense and so serious, and now he brought more relaxation, I guess,
Into your life. Yeah,
to
yeah,
my
yeah.
life, but in the same time quite challenging, like what to do right now, right?
Yeah.
And the people tell me just shake it, but what you gonna do with it? It's easy to,
Exactly.
it's fun to
Yeah.
say, but now you have to do something with
Yeah.
it.
So how did you figure out how to shake it in rhythm? How did
Well,
you figure out how to shake it?
Talia Tarzinov was a big help.
Yeah.
So we were taking coaching from him.
Mhm.
He was fantastic. And then, you learn as you go, and you find your own. Those salsa competitions or the Maria Torres help for the rhythm. I
Yeah.
listen to music a lot. I try to understand the culture. I
Got
try
it.
to look more at the Cuban rhythms
Yeah.
and Cuban culture and find the rhythm from that area and see it not as restrictive, competitive, maybe, if you want to say, and try to look for more authentic, even
Yeah,
though
yeah,
you
yeah.
always will be who you are. So it's not going to change.
Got it.
But feel like more free into the
Mm.
style, and just take it like, okay, we'll just take it a little bit easy and have more fun with it.
Yeah.
Maybe not looking for the results as much like enjoy the whole industry and style. And then I went up traveling around the United States, and I told Lucas, okay, so not just competition, but I want to actually see United States too. So
Not the
we'll
hotels
correct.
and airports,
So
right?
like it was before. So spent a little bit more time there, and then built more of the business. So I was more
Yeah.
involved in pro-am and teaching and all that scene.
And throughout your career, dancing career, you were actually, oh my God, you were actually dating, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Got it. So it was not just the dancing switch; it was mentality switch. It was actually
And the culture and the
Adjusting
language.
culture,
So
yeah.
I spoke English before, but of course I had to like quickly learn a little bit more.
yeah.
Even though he's telling me that my English is still very awful, so it is nothing what I can do. But it was worse before.
I didn't say it's the English is awful. I said you have this beautiful Czech accent and you pulling all those in the Czech way, right? This is what I said. I didn't say it was awful. Yanna, don't throw me under the
Okay,
bus.
okay, yeah.
God
So the
damn it.
accent. So the accent I never lost. So it was different, but
Again. This is again.
But I have to say I learned a
I have
lot.
accent too. So what are we talking about?
But it helped me that time. That era helped me more learn about our business here.
Yeah.
About what.
And that comes with it as well, because it's not just in Europe we don't have pro-am, right? And how do you like you gotta learn how to handle that, because you cannot push, you gotta adjust to the student, right? I mean, if you have gold, bronze, whatever, up and down, right? But still you gotta really be very clear about, okay, this is not my professional partner, I cannot push hard, right? So you had this problem already with Lucas, that you were always very determined, intense, and so on and so forth. So I can imagine with students was the same.
Of course,
yeah?
I was doing the same mistakes with my
Yeah.
students on the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
I would scream at them and yell at them and tell
Yeah,
them, come
exactly.
on, push,
Yeah.
push, push, and expecting them to do connections and
Exactly.
all what you would be
Yeah.
demanding from very high level competitor. But very quickly I learned.
Yeah.
Very quickly I learned that we have to adapt, be more methodical in
Yeah.
our teaching,
Yeah.
and hear and really listen to
Listen
the
what-
students to understand what they looking
Want,
for and what they want.
why they dance.
I think it
actually,
helped me to become better teacher,
Yeah.
coach, and
Oh
to
my
feel how you can help,
Yeah.
how you can help them.
Got it. So my cup just went away. 1 second.
This is gonna be really live. We have a wind and
Yes, that's
everything flying around.
This is how it should be. Life event. So, big switch. And how long do you think this switch or this I hope my camera doesn't fall down.
I'll be getting.
If it does,
Oh my gosh. Okay, now we lost the camera too.
there we go. All right, let's continue. This was a nice, exciting action.
Cameras flying around, but we are back live. Okay.
And compromising situation in the wind. All right, so where did we finish? Yes, so the mental switch, right? So how long was it going for, the mental switch? Like, was it a half a year adjustment, or was it really like 4 or 5 years to actually really understand the American culture and the mental,
Well, it's a learning experience all my life. Everything
Yeah.
has been changing, but I would say it took probably a year to really understand more.
Got
I
it.
mean, you live here, so it takes
Yeah.
more maybe, but really a
I'm
year.
freaking out right now because
More
the
things
wind,
will be flying.
The wind is
Really a year to understand how everything works, the students, the studio,
Yeah.
the system, the mentality, the culture, what to really do and how to proceed.
it.
So about a year, but in the meantime we were all in New Jersey, New York area for maybe 8 years.
8 years.
years.
So after 8 years dancing, competing, and so on, was it your idea to come to Hawaii or
Well, okay, so that's I have to give him the credit. So it was his idea.
Lucas, yeah?
To Lucas. So it was his idea.
Okay, but how did you know that? Okay, I know people know Hawaii, but
So-
you didn't know
Well,
about.
no, actually we came first time in 2003. There was a
Three.
competition, Hawaii Star Ball,
Okay.
owned by Jeffrey Fells. He was
Gotcha.
an English gentleman.
Jeffrey,
And
yeah,
we
yeah.
went for the competition in 2003. We loved the island. We loved the competition. Lucas immediately fell in love with the look. But yeah, it's easy to fall in love, but it doesn't mean that you're going to move.
Exactly, right.
Then we came several years after that. So I brought my Pro-Am students 2004. Then I had another Pro-Am students for 2005.
Yeah.
So we would like return maybe 3-4 years after that for the
So you
competition
kind of
with the
like
students.
coming in, coming out.
So
and,
we were getting used
dancing.
to. We were
Yeah.
getting used to it. But only September come in with the students,
Got
spend
it.
some time, but getting used to how it looks around. So we were more familiar with it. And in the meantime, some people, the local dancers who were here, they asked me for lessons and for
Gotcha.
coaching. So I started teaching and coaching some of the local couples.
Yeah, yeah,
there were
yeah.
no really pro-am back then here. So just local amateur and senior couples. So I was doing some teaching. And then Lucas, we were thinking of finishing our professional career and kind of retired, and
Yeah.
we really he wanted a family.
Got it.
So he wanted a baby. So he said, what
So
about
you didn't want a baby?
I did not want to have a children. I didn't want to
Wow.
have a children at all. Of course, I have a daughter now, and I'm extremely happy
Yeah.
to have her. It's a blessing. I would not change anything.
Got it.
But I didn't want to have children, but he really wanted to, so he was convincing me for some time.
Yeah.
And then we said, okay, it's time to retire. And we were planning to move or have our own studio. First, we were thinking in New York, and then we said, okay, we're going to go somewhere else. And Lucas said, well, let's go to Hawaii then. I love it here.
Okay,
It's-
wait. So you retired the dancing already. You were making plan because you wanted to family and so on.
we were planning to
You
stop
actually-
professional career.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's why we picked Hawaii. I would
Got
not
it.
say we would not move to Hawaii if we were still want to compete professionally.
Got it. So you're planning, thinking about moving, but you didn't know how, you didn't have any clients here and so on. You had maybe some money on the side, right? This and that, or not even that, right? As a dancer, you kind of like going, right? So how was that? Though?
Oh my gosh, it was like starting all over again.
All over again,
It
yeah.
was like back to 2000 when I moved with one suitcase to New York City.
Yeah.
Now it was again, we move out from our apartment in New Jersey, and we took a couple suitcases. I shipped the car, a little bit, some boxes, and it was like starting all over.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you came to Hawaii when?
2008.
8.
It was June 2008. I came first, so Lucas again, he sent me ahead. You look charming, you go first.
Got it.
Now back then he was managing Arthur Murray on Long Island, so he had to finish his contract. So I went ahead. I was the first one to come. As I said, I had a few couples I was already coaching and teaching, only a few.
So you were here alone?
Well, for a couple months. So I continued coaching them. And in the meantime, there used to be a small studio owned by a Japanese teacher. Very typical traditional Japanese. And everybody were telling me, oh, but he's not renting studio to anybody. There were no independent teachers.
Yeah.
So look, I said, well, then you go and talk to him. So I went there and talked to his name was Mr. Sugino. He was very Japanese, very little English, but somehow we communicated, and I explained to him that we would like to move here and stay here, and we would like to use his studio and pay the floor fee and all that and do our own student. And we shook our hand. That's only what it took. He never signed any contract. He just shook my hand, do the Japanese bow, and we used his studio until we opened our studio years later. And then he went with us. Unfortunately, he passed away last year, so he's not with us anymore. But we were using his studio, paying his rent pretty much after a while.
Yeah.
To
actually teach everybody. So it was from. Basically,
it's like a new completed chapter because it's different here.
Yeah, but you were paying first the floor fee to him, and then at some point you said you.
Well, we paid the floor fee, but the floor fee was almost his rent, as much like.
So much teaching. Oh, got it. So you basically, got it. Now I understand. So you not actually paid his rent, but you were actually making him so much money that
and then because he was planning to close down already, he was planning to close. He was older, he was planning to close, but we were doing well and we were teaching so much. So we said, don't close anywhere. We basically covering your rent, so you don't need to worry about anything. So we will be responsible of paying the rent. Just keep it open until we found our new location.
Got it.
And then we were able
to. He wanted to retire
and he wanted to correct.
Worry about stuff. Got it. So. How long did it take you to actually open your studio in Hawaii? You came 2008, you said, and then when did you open your studio?
Hold on, like we are 7-8 years in our studio right now, so we are here 4 years, so 5 years, I think like that. 5 years we were in his studio.
5 years. Got it. But that's the new location. That's the location I'm teaching?
Yes.
So this is just 5 years?
No, we were 5 years with him, and 8 years we are in the studio, what you know right now.
Got it, okay. So it was after his studio. So 8 years. Got it. Your contract is almost up, huh? Yeah. You go into the new location again?
Exactly. Our actually contract is up next year, but we're planning to stay. So we will renew the contract hopefully, and we like the location. We want to stay.
It's a beautiful location and beautiful studio. So if anybody comes to Hawaii and needs space to dance before a competition or prepare for show, call Yanna. I will link it down below, up in the corner, whatever you say on YouTube. And it is dance.
Aloha Dancesport.
Aloha Dancesport Center.
Yes, Aloha Dancesport Center. We try to pick more neutral names, so Dancesport, because we're doing ballroom, and that's what.
Exactly.
But Aloha Center also, because we want to incorporate more styles. So besides the ballroom,
you do have more
we
styles,
do.
like
We have belly dance, Zumba, hip hop, b-boys, contemporary. We have all different styles.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. So you get the good use from your studio. I like that. Now, how do you find, before we come to the competition, right, that we just danced, but how do you adjusted from Europe to America, right? And you were saying, it was very difficult because even the partner was American and I was dancing with Slovakia and we had kind of same mindset and so on, and this guy comes late to practice and this and that, right? So you adjusted there. Now, was there a step further when you came to Hawaii?
Definitely further. So Lucas was like a warm-up for this. Yeah, so Lucas was already more laid back to comparing my European mentality.
Yeah, but I mean, New York, he's New Yorker, right? From
But this is true.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, correct. From Spanish Harlem, from
Spanish
Manhattan.
Harlem. But the people in New York, like, are
Very
on the
fast,
go, right?
very fast,
But
very
he's
street
not.
smart.
Yeah.
He is very street smart. He was just laid back and lazy with practicing, but everything. That was his excuse, but everything else very correct, very sharp, very careful,
Yeah.
on your feet, on your toes all the
Exactly.
time. Very different here, very laid back,
So how
and
was
slow.
the adjustment from, right, Europe to to America? You managed, right, with difficulties, but you managed. How did you manage this one, and how was it for you, though?
Well, until now, I feel challenges a little bit.
Still.
I still, but I got used to it. I just kind of keep telling myself,
Yeah.
relax. You have to do a little bit slower, so you
Yeah.
adjust. So when you tell somebody tomorrow, you know it's gonna be in 3 days. If somebody say in a week, well, we're gonna plan on 2-3 weeks.
Wow.
So we'll just have to adjust the expectations. It's getting better, but overall I
It's
like
getting
it.
better. You accepting the way.
Me accepting the
Yeah.
ways, but also it's a
Yeah.
melting pot. In a way, it's a little bit similar to New York because you have people from all different parts of world
Yeah,
living
yeah.
here. Very mixed culture. Nobody cares that I have an accent. English is not a problem. Like it's not a challenge. Very Asian community. We have tourists coming from all over. So even though it's a small island,
Yeah.
I really enjoy that polyculture feel. So that's good. And so you meet a lot of different people. So it's I would not say that it's slow all the time. It really depends who you meet and where you are.
Yeah.
But it's a slower pace.
Got it.
Slower pace, but it's very friendly. It's very friendly and very
As we noticed.
well, generally very
Generally,
friendly
yes, I
and
know, I
very family oriented.
Yeah.
So neighbors are friendly, very nice.
Nice. But look at this. This is so beautiful in here. Guys, I hope you can see it because it's like after this podcast, I'm going to the beach. Ha! So, for all people listening, right? And maybe your students and so on and so forth. I just want to ask you about the proem stuff, right? How did you adjust to proem situation? Because it's very different teaching even amateurs here in America and teaching in Russia, Italy, Germany, Czech, right?
Correct, but what I found, like even no matter what level in the pro-am, they all want to get better. They all want to improve. So you have to adjust expectation what that means because everybody has their own area of improvement. So
Yeah.
personal small little goals. And I think that's important to understand and feel the people if they want to improve in dancing, if they want to improve quality of life, if they have their own personal challenges or goals,
Listen, kids,
what they would
listen.
like to set. And the
Yeah.
ballroom, the dancing is really helping,
Yeah.
really helping. And it can be from physical point, from social point, finding friends, finding to some people travel, some people enjoy it because they like the exercise, some people it helped them to come out of their shell and do something what they would normally not do.
Exactly.
So that, and it's
So it's
amazing.
very different.
I think it's a two-way street too, because if you're really a good ballroom teacher, a pro-am teacher, and you are in it for now 20 years or over 20 years, you enrich their lives and they kind of affect and enrich yours, and we can all learn from each other. So clearly I'm still going to be a teacher to them, but they teach you something
it's
too.
an exchange.
Correct.
All the time.
Yeah.
Energetically, mentally, right? You have physical not exchange, but physical involvement, right? Dancing, obviously, you kind of, right? It's very beautifully said. But did you think like that all the time, or how was it when you were teaching in Europe?
Oh, of course, different. I had all the amateur couples and juniors,
kids, and
more
you
of it,
just-
all
you just
competitors,
go.
all
Yeah.
competitors. No social style at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even though here, like in United States, we do have some pro-am that are very
Yeah.
very serious competitors, right?
Yeah.
So we cannot say that they are less serious or less competitive, or even there are, some of them are very advanced
Yeah.
dancers. But
Yeah.
it's still a different mentality. It's different mentality when you're dancing with your teacher, you became a partners. It's
Yeah.
not equal partnership because it's still student
Yeah.
teacher, but it is very respectful partnership.
Yeah.
But the behavior, of course, it's completely different. But I enjoy it. And I have to be. I was very fortunate to have many. My gentlemen, I call them my guys, my male students. I was in New York, New Jersey area, or here. I have students that are here with me for 14 years since I moved. I have the same pro-am students. So we growing old together.
Yeah.
I keep telling them.
Yeah. But it's not common, or it's rare to have students like for so long, right? It's either you're doing a great job or you're doing a great job in dancing, in teaching, right? Because people, usually you have sometimes changes, right? Like you have a teacher for 3 years. This is kind of the mark, even people, when they coach you on pro-am or teaching dancing, right? They say the average lifespan of a student is about 3 years, right? This is what I was taught when I just came. They explain, you gotta this and that. You gotta about 3 years per student, right? But I believe if you do something right, people stay. It's a service that we provide, right? So it's really.
I think it's adapt. You need to.
You adapting yourself.
You adapting yourself, but you're setting different
teacher.
goals. So if you have a same student for 14 years,
Yeah.
clearly we had changed the goals through the years
course.
as we go. First, getting better dancer, then maybe some competitive goals, then styles, changing styles.
Yeah.
That sometimes it happens too. So it's but. I would say generally it might be seems challenging, but I found the students who are longest with me the most easier ones. After a
most
while,
easy?
Because we get used to each other.
Yeah.
They know how I am, and I know
You
them.
know how
I know how they
yeah,
are.
yeah.
So when we travel and do the competitions together, it's the easiest.
It's easy to because you know how you function already. Yeah. I understand. All right, my dear. So tell us about your competition, because I had a lot of fun. Was it 2 days ago?
2 days ago on Saturday.
Yes. 2 days ago.
Oh, thank you. Aloha Ball. Aloha Ball. Every beginning of February, first Saturday of
So
each.
if somebody want to check out Hawaii, Aloha Ball is always beginning of February.
So first
right?
Saturday of February.
First Saturday of February. Tell us about your competition.
9
my dear.
years already. We're going to have a 10-year anniversary next year.
Mhm.
It started originally with Ron Montes and Tony Meredith in
Ron,
2014. And then on the end of 2015, Ron approached me in Holiday Classic in Las
okay.
Vegas. He came to me and he offered if I would like to come on board with them and be one of the partners with them.
But okay, so the competition was already here
So-
on the islands.
No. So Ron and Tony started it in Kona on Big Island.
On Big Island. Okay, got it. Okay,
So
now we're
2014
talking.
and 2015, 2 years, Kona on Big
But did
Island.
So they bought the competition, obviously.
They started it.
They started
They
it.
started
So
it.
they created a
Correct.
new event.
Correct. Absolutely
do you
new
know
event.
the backstory why they wanted to do? Because we had already the Hawaii Star Bowl, right? So what was the backstory of that? Why they created another competition?
I think I think they wanted to buy Hawaii Star Bowl, but it did not happen.
Got it.
Correct. Somebody else bought it.
Yeah.
So they decided to start their own.
Got it.
And it was originally in October. It was originally in October. So I don't know exactly why October. I think maybe that was only time available with NDCA back then, time that they could get. But it was very close to Hawaii Star Ball, which is in September. So then when I came on board, I said, okay, we're going to change it to February.
So they approached you because Ron knew you live in
Ron knew
Hawaii,
I live here.
You have studio,
Exactly.
blah, blah, blah.
So we knew each other with Ron for some time. He knew I live here, and I attended his competition. So when he started it in 2014, of course, he immediately approached me, please come to my competition. So I brought the students.
And it was just a boat ride to Big Island.
We don't have boats here, no boat ride, but 30 minutes on plane to Big Island, which was like a getaway staycation for our local students. So it was fantastic. So we attended for 2 years, beautiful in Sheraton in Kona. And after that, Ron said, well, you live here, so I think it will be perfect. It will be best if you can go on board. First, actually, they asked me if I would like to buy it completely.
What? Okay, so
that was in talk if I would like to take over. So then we decided all three of us will stay. And we had it until Ron passed away.
Got it. Yeah. It's always kind of like, it's sad, like, because you have those people for a long time in the industry and then they pass and it's like, it's never nice.
And Ron actually, he loved Hawaii, and he loved Kona. He loved Kona, and that's how he decided to do it on the Big Island of Hawaii. He had a special the Big Island of Hawaii has a different vibe, completely different vibe here than Honolulu, Waikiki. Even more laid back, rural, wonderful nature, very rural community, and so that's what he loved. He was very relaxed, smooth gentleman, and so that's he wanted to do.
Got it.
We did that another 2 years there, so overall 4 years.
So it was still on the Big Island even when you came on board?
Correct. So we kept it on Big Island for another 2 years.
So what was the main decision to move it to Honolulu?
Well, we discussed that above three of us, that maybe we should try different island. For 4 years already on the Big Island, so we thought maybe Maui. We had first idea that we would go from my island to island. So from those who come from mainland to visit and they do the vacation, so they can experience different island on each year.
That's a good idea, actually.
It was great idea, but really challenging here. No floor, not so many hotels. Have a big ballroom. You can actually run event. So we could not do it on Kauai at all. There is no such a setup. And Maui also no floor. So that we have a challenge. So we said, okay, let's go back. Let's go to Honolulu. There's the biggest dance community here. And we will do it here. So we moved to beautiful Kahala Hotel, not far from here, from Waikiki. It's one of my favorite hotel, and Ron agreed with it immediately because it kind of fit to his feel of Hawaii. Beautiful sandy beach. They have live dolphins swimming just outside the ballroom. So we stayed there, and we would be there. We loved the hotel, if not pandemic. So we were there for 2 years, and then COVID started. And unfortunately, during the COVID, first we had to cancel. But then when we were about to come back, the ballroom was smaller and with heavy restrictions here in Hawaii, extreme heavy restrictions for a long time. We could not run the event on smaller dance floor. We need a 6 feet distancing and all that. So we could not. So we were looking, okay, we have to go somewhere else.
Because the ballroom was it was smaller than here, right? But it was like intimate, and it was just the right size.
It was it was great, and it was wonderful size for us. It was a smaller, but it felt full. You can feel the atmosphere inside of the ballroom. The hotel itself.
The hotel itself is beautiful,
and
amazing.
The views. So it would not be COVID, we would be probably still be there. But we were looking for bigger venue.
Okay, so you have a 10th anniversary coming up, right? Are you planning to do something special? I don't want to spoil the.
You cannot spoil surprises.
But are you just give us a little bit, a little candy? Come on. Just a little candy. Are you planning something special?
We're planning. Well, every year we try to bring a fantastic professional show for local people to experience.
And you do every time. So it's
So
amazing,
not just
yes.
from the mainland competitors who come and enjoy the scenery,
Yeah.
but to really have a good dancing. So of course you will be looking for some fabulous professional show, which we will try this year. We had great. We had Victor Funk one
Yeah.
year. We have all the big names. So we'll try. So we'll see what we can do for next year. And we all were also contemplating about the venue.
Yeah.
So far we can stay here, of course, but we might think about a different venue to have some different, exciting different new,
and doing something special for the
something
10th
special, something different again.
anniversary. All right, and I want to talk about Sky a little bit because Sky, this is Yanna's daughter. Yanna's and Lucas's daughter, and she's beautiful, and she's a mix of Czech beauty and Latin blood and energy, right? But we had a talk, and I'm going on to how you adjusted from Europe to, because it's always very interesting to me, and we had a lot of talks about that. And also, so about your daughter, you raising your daughter differently than you were raised, right? Because of the cultural difference and so on and so forth. Can you contemplate on this a little bit? Because it's always very interesting to me, but I want to have it on the camera because people don't understand how different it is for us to actually come in, and I'm sure other people that coming to United States going through a similar thing from South America or from England, like different countries. It's always an adjustment, right? But what I want to really hear from you is really how your approach changes, because your mom comes also, right? And you go like, Mom, she's an American girl, you know what I mean? So tell us about that.
Yeah, she's definitely more American girl, and as you said, so Lucas is very laid back, and he's spoiling her all the time. I am
as
more
dads do.
as they do. I am more strict parent.
Yeah.
So I'm the disciplinarian,
Got
but
it.
still not as strict as my upbringing was. We try to do more relaxed, more I don't want to say friendlier approach. Our parents were very friendly. I still want her to understand the culture and Czech language.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to her in Czech a little bit, and she's catching some language from her grandparents. And we try also to expose her to Spanish culture and Spanish language.
Yeah.
So we'll try all those so she understands where she came from.
Yeah.
And I can speak Spanish and Czech. Of course, she speaks English as her first language. So more relaxed, but still stricter, more strict than I would say average American family.
Yeah.
But I try to be more understanding parent, I would say, compared to when we were growing up. I try to show her compassion and definitely more hugging and kind of understanding that she can talk to me about anything, and I am always there for her. It might seem as a cliche, but
this is coming from Yanna, and she didn't want to have children. Are you listening to that, right? More hugs, more this, more that. I didn't want to have children, Daniel. Right?
No, so I definitely not spoiling her. I want her to be independent, she is. She's 6 years old now, and she has a busy schedule, and we're keeping it tight. But more, so she's wonderful. She is very compassionate already. She surprises me every day. And she is already a little bit different than me. She's very similar to Lucas, kind of relaxed and laid back, but a lot of energy, of course, like all children do. But try to show more as a mom, more understanding, strict but understanding, supportive role for her.
Why you say that? Because you don't want to...
Because I felt like when maybe it was a communism time, or it was a different era when we were growing up, or maybe our parents tried to make us stronger and resilient, sometimes too much, maybe to
Because of
extremes.
the situation we were
Maybe
in,
because
yeah,
the situation with me being the hospital and
Yeah.
all that, but I thought that my parents were much stronger, much more strict, much more colder, not cooler, colder,
yeah.
than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want her to
So
be
you
more
wanna-
warm.
Would you say because you came to America and you were exposed to this culture, you like that?
I like it, and I like the more open-minded to
Yeah.
be prepared for anything. Anything can
but you
happen.
weren't when you came, right? No, but this is what I'm getting at, right? Because it changes, environment changes you, and it, like I'm telling my students all the time, like environment changes you.
Yes,
If you
I
change
found I found the New Yorkers extremely open-minded, adaptable, friendly, welcoming, which I would not say that we are necessarily are in Czech Republic. We are more close community. It's very, I would say, difficult for the outsider
for the
become
outside to come in,
to
yes.
be one of
But
us.
once you know us,
Oh, we are absolutely friendly, fun people.
Yeah, exactly, right. But it's more like, okay,
For the
this
approach.
is the wall, don't do. And I experienced it with you too on Hawaii, right? Even though you already
We have
adjusted.
that.
Yeah, we have
correct.
like this,
but it's
this,
from the upbringing. We have
Exactly.
that, like we don't trust people.
Yeah.
So I want her to not have that in her
Yeah.
mind. Yeah.
Well, a little bit. Come on.
Well, a little bit.
She
You
cannot
cannot.
trust everybody.
Correct. You cannot
Right.
trust anybody,
Just
but
a little
more
bit.
more smiling, because
Yeah.
I thought when we grow up, we did not smile as much. We did smile, but it's hard to explain, right? It's different. The parents were definitely nice. We did
Yeah.
smile, but not as much like here, especially here in
Yeah.
Hawaii. People
Yeah.
really smile and
Yeah.
warm and welcoming and not threatening.
And people come, not threatening, right? Because you have a feeling when you walk, you know, in Slovakia on the street, like you always on guard. Like it's not that somebody will like approach you or attack you, right? But it's like this.
You are on alert, and
Yeah,
I
it's-
have to say I do tell her that when we travel. I say, you be next to mommy, don't go anywhere, watch
yeah,
out,
yeah,
don't
yeah.
run anywhere. We are not home, you have to pay
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah.
But I don't want her to grow up with any fear.
Yeah, that's understandable. And I know exactly
And
what
definitely
you're saying
more
about,
open relationship,
Yeah.
so she knows the mom is there to help no matter what. So
Yeah.
I hate, and I definitely made it clear from the beginning, I would hate if she lied to me. So I say, mommy can fix anything, I will help you with anything, do not lie. So even if you have
Yeah.
problems or you
Yeah.
do something really, really naughty, you can always
Yeah.
tell me. Yeah. No secrets.
Got it. All right. Now the time comes to tell me. I have two more questions for you, but the first question is a fun one. What do you think makes a dance show, right, of a couple amazing or touching to you or special? Not, I don't want to hear like we ballroom dancers technical stuff, right? I just want to hear like your as an audience, you as an audience, not even as a coach, as a pure audience, you watching a show, what makes a show amazing to you, special to you, touching for you?
Well, I love music, so for me, the choice of music,
Choice of music,
is
okay.
very important. And then the feel. Like, I would like to be invited in the performance. I would like
Got
to
it.
emerge inside. So for me, it's important if the couple is just pretending or if they can really feel it. Yeah,
Got it.
like presenting a story to me.
Yeah, story. Got it. That was quick and swift. Wow. I had people talking to me for 5 minutes. Yeah, and this and that. Cool.
No,
Cool,
I
cool,
think
cool.
you have to
But
feel
it's
it, and
really-
I think it's coming from all different styles. So that doesn't need to be ballroom.
Yeah.
I very often do and coach some contemporary still or the other dancers to from the performing point of view,
Point of view, yeah.
and I've told them you have to be real, no matter what. If it's good, I mean your technique, good or bad.
Yeah.
Be real, be who you are, we feel it, you try to present it, the technique can be fixed.
Yeah.
Okay, but don't
Yeah.
change who you are, because then it's always gonna look artificial. It's gonna look funny and strange.
Got it. Fantastic. Thank you for this insight. And it was simple. I like that. I can see why your students like you so much and stick with you, because you're very clear about what you want, and awesome. So, Yanna, what would you say you learned from your life, from your passion, dancing, right? And as you went through the journey, what do you think were your life lessons? Maybe just one, maybe 10, I don't know. But what impacted you in dancing, or what did you experience in dancing that it impacted how you behave? And obviously you changed countries, you traveled, so the dancing actually molded you, right? So what were the lessons that you've learned from your dancing or from your art form?
I would say no regrets.
No regrets.
To make it simple, so we make mistakes on our journey. There are many mistakes, but looking back, I would never change anything what happened, even the good or bad, even the bad things, because I learned from it. And then more mistakes you do, if you are a good student of your own life journey, you learn quicker and quicker, and you learn to adapt, and so it makes your life not easier but richer. So I don't regret any of the mistakes in the past. I would not change anything. And to be open-minded, be prepared for anything, and resilient, and not to complain. Like back to our culture, like when we grow up, like always. When I go back to Czech, maybe now it's a little bit different, but used to be people complain, and they are very negative. So get rid of all the negative feelings, even though there are moments, of course, things doesn't go as you plan. So there is thing, but
so
don't really dwell on it. Don't dwell on the negative feelings. The life, it's a journey, and it's short, and you really have to enjoy it. And I really try to live by it.
It is so amazing, like you telling me that, right? Because I literally can see where you're coming from, how you were, right? And where you at now. This is so amazing to me. No, it really is, because we know each other for what, 6 years already, 5, 6, 7, I don't know, long.
But
long
I think
time.
what helps to come from the same background, same culture. So even though it's 6, but only 6, the way how you look at it, but you can understand person a little bit more. But so you know what it is. So the life, it's difficult.
Yeah.
It's not peachy all the time, but you have
Peachy,
to
like a peach, not pitch. Peach. Yeah.
But you have to look on the bright side, and you have to enjoy the moments.
That's why you're in Hawaii, because you want to always bright. Got it. So, thank you very much. What is, and do you have any like grand plan for the future, or just enjoying life in Hawaii because you laid back now more, so
We lay back more, especially after I had a child. I slow down even with my traveling but I still like to I love to travel. So if it's with the students back to mainland, or we explore international competitions, Australia, New Zealand, not far from Hawaii, so we explore that part of the world. So not slowing down yet, no plans to retire it. For my competition for Aloha Ball, I would really wish to grow, but not necessarily to make it a huge event like on the mainland. But my dream would be for the local competitors. I teach a lot of children too, and young dancers. For them to see how the dance industry and world is, because it's very difficult for them here on the island to see it and experience. So I wish every year so we have more younger people and young amateurs or young professionals to come here, so the local kids can see them, see how they behave. Not you, but the other, how they behave.
Not me, but other dancers,
People they
the good dancers,
they
not
behave
not,
so they can get the bug. You know, they can get the excitement and the desire to really achieve something amazing, because that's what I feel here living in Hawaii, unfortunately. So again, I'm not complaining, it's not being negative, but I wish they get a little bit more desire and will to go and push.
To come. Yeah, but you have one guy. I really love this dancer. His name is Daniel. Hi Daniel, if you're listening and watching, we're talking about you. And he's into it. But again, it's not because of something. He is interested because of him, right? He wants to dance, he wants to go, he wants to, right? And I'm thinking, really, you can do something with it, right? Especially you, because you like very, right? And he goes for it. So I understand what you're saying. You wish to actually expose those children, but in today's world, right, we have YouTube, we have this, we have that, so it's much easier now than it was when we were
correct.
Up, right?
Like back then we had VHS and we didn't see anything. But I will react on the YouTube world because, correct, Daniel is fantastic and he's very special and it comes from his heart and he responds very well to my teaching and to my bossing and bitching. Now, not peachy, but bitching him around. Correct. Not all child is like that, so everybody is different. Yeah. But again, because the YouTube, you see, I think it's interesting there. Yes, you can watch it. You can see it on the screen, but if it's not around you, if you cannot physically feel it, if you cannot attend the event, it does not bring the desire.
Exchange, right.
You know, does not. You just see it as something what maybe I would ideally, and then a few exceptional children will follow up on that, but you cannot really have the whole group
because of the whole.
But if the competition is live here and they walk into the ballroom and then you feel it, you can feel it when you are inside the ballroom, then you go, wow, okay, I had this, I want to do it again, I want to do it again. If you're just watching on YouTube, it's not the same. Yeah. So any challenge.
It exchanges the experience, but it's easier to actually motivate and be like,
you can show them this is how you're supposed to go.
But I understand definitely what you got, but it's really coming back to environment, right? What kind of environment are you in? What is affecting you all the time, and it changes you, right? As you growing up, communism, right? Go in Germany, going right in places where there's a little bit more advanced, right? After the communism fall and the borders got open, right? We were like, oh my God, there's another world out there, right? So this started to affect you too, but in your mind you were like, boom, 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 right? How many years it took to actually be more laid back, Yanna? A long time, right?
Well,
and you're still struggling with it.
I'm still struggling. Right, yes, correct. Right. It takes time because it goes with you.
Exactly. So this is what I mean. Like, I understand what you want to do with this competition, and I love it. But you're already doing it. You're creating an environment with your dance studio. When I come in and you have all those different mixes and people come in and they really motivate it, I can tell, I can feel it, right? So from my point of view, right, it's not a suggestion or whatever, but your studio is the one that creates this environment. I understand about the competition, what you want to say, but your studio already does it. And they're constantly there. And the environment is
I call it healthy. Healthy means like relaxed. Relax in a sense of, compared to mainland, more laid-back Hawaiian style, not intense, but in the same time healthy mean everybody focus and cheer for each other, help to each other to go forward.
The environment, you already created the environment and you changing actively people, right? The same way America changed you, or the environment, Hawaii environment changed you. And I understand what you're saying, because on the islands, you know, you have this laid-back situation and everybody lives that, right? So it's kind of, it's challenging in a way. Okay, I will achieve something because I want to, right? So then it comes down to individuals like Daniel, because he's motivated, he want to change that, right? Ikaika, I had it on the podcast, right? He left to mainland because he wanted to pursue that, right? And when he was starting, there was no Aloha
Dancesport.
Dance
Correct.
Sport
Yes,
Center,
yes, correct.
right? And he was saying, okay, I went there, and there were people with only seniors that danced. So you actually, you know,
Yeah, so this is
You
true.
gotta
Thank you,
give
thank
yourself
you. Yeah,
credit
so we're
with-
changing
with-
it for the
Exactly.
younger generations, for the
exactly.
kids, the youth, and even the pro-am more and more,
Exactly,
because there
yeah.
was no really pro-am scene before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So thank you for that. And everybody listening, if you want to learn how to dance in Hawaii, in Honolulu, you know where to go. Aloha Dancesport Center, okay? Go check it out. If you have kids, go there, definitely. It's a beautiful thing to do, to have this skill of dancing just for your wedding, social, whatever you do. So Yanna, thank you very much for you taking time, because I know you were busy on Saturday and Sunday, and you know, workshop and so on and so forth, and teaching yourself after the competition. So thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to the next year and every year, and every time I come to Hawaii, we always have a great time. And yeah, I don't know, we from Czechoslovakia, right? So I feel like Yanna is my sister, younger sister.
Well, thank
No,
you.
really.
You're always
A sister,
welcome.
yeah, I know, but yeah, it's really like there's a familiarity, as you said, right? So it really, I really like to have you here on the islands.
So you have an
because I
excuse
know-
to come back.
Exactly, right? Because I here.
And then he
everywhere.
feels more at home. No, then
No,
you
it
feel
does.
like you come back here, you
It
feel like
does.
going
It
back
does
home.
because you know you have, and we talk Czech, so it's like, oh my God, it feels familiar, right? So thank you very much for that. And go ahead. That's it. The podcast is done. With technical difficulties, with wind and people screaming at us because we, whatever,
Broke the rule.
broke the rules, right? Like Czech people and Slovakian people always do. Guys, thank you very much for listening. This is Dance Art in Life podcast. This is, and always will be a judgment-free zone. I'm your host, Danya the Gypsy, and I see you in the next episode. Mahalo, aloha, bye, bye, bye. There we go.